Hello and welcome to the Monitoring Student Activity and Performance Blackboard Black Belt series. I'm Jim and I'll be your trainer today. The objectives of the Monitoring Student Activity and Performance video series are to explore the evaluation tools available in Blackboard, learn how to create columns in the Grade Center, effectively manage the Grade Center, and to learn how to grade offline. In this video, we will be covering the evaluation tools found under the Control Panel section of the course menu. Let's begin by navigating to the Control Panel section of the Blackboard course menu and clicking Evaluation to expand this menu item. Your course will likely have three options in this area: Course Reports, Performance Dashboard, and SCORM Reports. However, we're actually going to begin by demonstrating one of the most powerful evaluation tools, the Retention Center. So what is the Retention Center? The Retention Center provides an easy way for you to discover which students in your course are at risk by alerting you of students who have fallen below one or more rules. Before we begin, we must make the Retention Center available. As you've learned in previous videos, you can make course tools available by going to Customization and then Tool Availability. This is one way to turn on the Retention Center tool, but let me show you another way. Begin by opening the Global Navigation menu, and then click on the Retention Center icon in the left menu. Here you will see a list of all the courses in which you are listed as the instructor. Courses that you are currently tracking using the Retention Center are listed at the top, and courses that you are not currently tracking are grayed out like these. Simply select the course that you want to begin tracking with the Retention Center, and then click the Start Tracking Now button. Now if we go back to our course, we will see the Retention Center is now listed under the Evaluation menu. The Retention Center is preloaded with 4 default rules. This at-risk table displays only the students enrolled in the class who are currently at risk in one or more of the defined rules. The 4 default rules in the Retention Center are Missed Deadlines, Grades Alert, Activity Alert, and Access Alert. The Missed Deadlines rule alerts you if the student has missed one or more assignment deadlines by more than 0 days. The Grades Alert rule alerts you if the student's total grade is 25% below the class average. The Activity Alert rule alerts you if the student's last course access was more than 5 days ago. Finally, the Access Alert rule alerts you if the student's activity within the course over the last week is 20% below the course average. Keep in mind that all 4 of these rules are completely customizable, and you can also add your own rules if you would like. We will discuss how to customize the Retention Center rules in more detail later in the video. For now, let's return to the Retention Center homepage. A red dot indicates which area the student is currently at risk in. Multiple red dots per student indicates that this particular student is at risk from more than one area. Clicking on the red dot expands the selection to give you a more detailed information for this student in the area that he or she is currently at risk in. For example, by clicking on the red dot under the Missed Deadlines column, we can see how many missed deadlines this student has. We can click on the View Late Submissions link to see exactly which assignments are late, and for how many days they are late. Under the Grades Alert column, we can see the student's grade and how much lower it is compared to the class average. Similarly, the Activity Alert and the Access Alert columns give similar information. There's a red bar at the top of the page which is simply an overview of all the at-risk students in your course. Clicking on this bar breaks the overview into its component parts. For example, by clicking on the bar, we can see that there are 13 students that have missed deadlines in the course, 2 that have low grades, 11 that have not contributed, and 12 that have not even logged in yet. From this view, we can send an email to all the students that are currently at risk in this particular area simply by clicking the area in the risk bar, and then hovering over the Notify menu and clicking Students. Of course, you can customize this email before sending it if you would like. Clicking the Back to Overview hyperlink returns the bar to the overview. From here, we can click on the View Students Not at Risk hyperlink to see a list of students enrolled in the course who are not at risk. Whether you're viewing the students currently at risk or the students who are not at risk, you can always click directly in the student's name to see a detailed view of that particular student's Retention Center status. From this screen, you can choose to monitor the student, which simply places a snapshot of that student's performance directly on the Retention Center's homepage. From the student's Retention Center status page, you can also choose to send the student a pre-populated email informing them that their performance in this course has triggered an alert. Of course, you can customize this email before sending it if you would like. Back at the student's Retention Center status page, you can also view how the student is performing on the defined risk factors that you have set up. You can also add a private note regarding the student if you would like. Private notes will appear in the bottom of this page under the Notification History area. Any emails that you send to students from within the Retention Center are also stored under this Notification History area. If we go back to the Retention Center homepage, we can see at the bottom of the page there is a Your Course Activity section. The Your Course Activity section provides a one-stop collection of your activity, engagement, and participation in the course. In this section, you can see how many items needs grading, how you're engaging your student by posting and commenting in discussions, blogs, and journals, and the last time you created new content or posted an announcement. Hovering over the info icons gives the instructor various pedagogical best practices. Let's look at how to customize the rules in the Retention Center. Begin by clicking on the Customize button in the top right of the page. From here you can see the 4 default rules that are set up in the Retention Center. Let's edit the default grade rule to alert us when a student's grade is 10% below the course average. To do this, first hover over the rule that you want to edit so that the Option menu icon appears. Click the Options menu icon, and then click Edit from the Option menu. From here you can see that we have a variety of options that we can modify for this grade rule, including the rule name and whether or not we want to include the rule in the risk table. Selecting No might be desired if you simply want to set up a temporary rule. Under the Rule Criteria, Select Grade section, we can modify this grade rule to include the total grade or a specific item. The Define Criteria section allows instructors to set the rule to a specific grade value, for example if the grade is above or below a set number of points or percentage. However, the default rule uses the last option, Use Average Grades, and it's set to alert the instructor if the student's grade is below the class average grade by a percentage of 25%. We just want to modify that to 10% and then click the Submit button. Here we can see that our default rule has been modified. We can also create custom rules by hovering over the Create Rule menu and choosing the desired rule type. Each rule type has its own set of rule criteria. For this demonstration, let's create a new grade rule to monitor the students in the class who are currently getting an A. Begin by hovering over the Create Rule menu and choosing the grade rule type. Let's name the rule A Students and select No in the Include in Risk Table option, because after all, these students aren't really at risk. Under the Rule Criteria section, let's leave the Monitor Final Grade and the Set Grade Value option selected. For the Set Grade Value criteria, let's choose the grade as above 90 and then change the last option from points to percent. To save the rule, click the Submit button. If we navigate back to the Retention Center homepage, we will see that our new rule does not show up in the At Risk table, but it does show up on the right side of the page under the Other Information You Are Monitoring section. We can see that there are currently 5 students who meet this rule. Clicking on the number 5 opens up a pop-up window displaying each of the students in the class who currently have a 90% or above. Clicking on the Notify Selected button will allow you to email these students to give them a little positive reinforcement. Let's move on to the Performance Dashboard. The Performance Dashboard provides an up-to-date report on the activity for all students. Information in the Performance Dashboard appears in a table format. Clicking a column heading or the caret in the header row of a column sorts the table data by that column. There are 2 types of columns in the Performance Dashboard: View-only columns and interactive columns. The view-only columns cannot be changed, but simply allow the instructor to review the data. Examples of the view-only columns include the 3 name columns, the role, last course access, and days since last course access columns. The interactive columns include review status, adaptive release, discussion board, customize retention center, and view grades. Clicking on the data in any of these columns opens up a new window with more student information. For example, we can see that I have a number 1 under my review status column. If we click on the number 1, a new window pops up displaying a list of all the items in the course that have a review status option turned on, and of these, those that I have marked reviewed and those that I have not marked as reviewed. Moreover, this table shows whether these items are visible to me or not. An eye icon like this indicates that the student can view the item. If the student cannot view the item, the eye icon will have a red line through it. We'll see an example of this shortly. Clicking on the folder icon in the Adaptive Release column displays a course map for a user showing every content item in the course. Items use icons to indicate whether content items and folders are visible or invisible to the user, and whether the items have been reviewed or not. This is the great place to look if you get an email from a student stating that they can't find a particular item in your course. That item might not be visible to them for some reason. For example, we can see that Charles cannot see the physics group assignment. This is because he's not in the physics group. But he can see the biology assignment because he is in that group. An icon key can be found at the bottom of this page. Clicking on the number under the discussion board column allows the instructor to view all discussion board posts by a specific student, as well as a few forum statistics. Clicking the name of the forum takes you to that student's submission. The Customize Retention Center column shows how many of the at-risk rules each student has triggered. Clicking on the numbers takes you directly to that student's Retention Center page. Finally, clicking on the icon under the View Grades column simply takes you to the Grade Center. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything special like filter the Grade Center for you. The last topic we're going to cover in this video is the Course Reports function. The Course Reports function allows the instructor to run a variety of different reports on the course and to save those results to Content Collection, or download the results to his or her computer. The default course reports found in Blackboard include reports for the course as a whole and reports for specific users. You might find these reports handy when you're interested in finding out which parts of your course are getting the most traffic, what time and days of the week your course is most often accessed, or course activity and statistics for a struggling student. That concludes this video in the Monitoring Student Activity and Performance Blackboard Black Belt series. In this video, we've learned how to monitor our students' performance using the Retention Center, Performance Dashboard, and via course reports. In the next video, we'll be exploring the power of the Grade Center. Thanks for watching.